If there's one thing you guys like, it's the Sega Genesis. And shmups. Well, I guess that's two things. So today, we're going to shoot up a Genesis. Okay, we're not. So you'll have to settle for a review of Steel Empire for the Sega Genesis instead. The Steel Empire is a horizontal shooter released on the Sega Genesis in 1992. It's a fairly standard shmup from a gameplay perspective, but does offer a unique gameplay setting. Rather than aiming for an ultra-futuristic, technology-driven environment, the Steel Empire is straight-up steampunk. It's as if technology stopped in the 1930s, but the ideas, like space travel, kept going. Huge gun turrets still exist, but they are mounted to steam-powered locomotives. Most of the ships look like they are made from riveted steel, feature plenty of moving parts, and are powered by propellers rather than jets. Sticking with that 30s theme are the film strip-like cutscenes that help the story progress. It's nothing terribly deep, just some basic military briefs, but what you can't see on this video is the flickering to help give those scenes a film-like look. The gameplay, however, is a bit more generic. You can pilot either a Striker airplane or the Z-01 Zeppelin airship. In general, they are pretty similar, though I prefer the Zeppelin's bomb pattern and longer life bar. Both ships can fire forwards and backwards, which must have been fairly unique back in 1992. Many parts of the game require you to fire backwards as well, so it is an essential part of the game and not just a gimmick. You upgrade your weapon by collecting bonus items with an EX on them. Collect 3 of these, and you will upgrade your weapon to the next level. Your ships will peak at level 20. The last item is the Lightning Bomb. This bomb is rather strange and doesn't fit with the steampunk style at all, unleashing a screen filled with a blast of lightning. The level design is where the Steel Empire really grabs me. I love the 30s feel of the game and the awesome use of color. The clouds in Stage 3 are simply gorgeous. And the city you fly over in Stage 5 is incredibly detailed. The sound starts off a bit weak, with fairly unimpressive weapon sounds and a very generic soundtrack, but gets significantly stronger as the game progresses. The Steel Empire is well designed from beginning to end, but there are a few flaws. The first obvious problem is how bland the game is through the first level, and the first half of the second level. It's tough to get into this game, but if you can make it through its rocky start, you're in for a real treat. The second flaw is how long it takes to beat many of the bosses. I love how they created multiple destructible parts rather than having a single hitbox, but damn, a little more balance would go a long way. Some will complain about how easy this game is as well. Most veteran shmup fans will be able to breeze through this in just a few attempts. To make things easier, your ship respawns right where you died. And lastly, you do not lose your weapon level or speed upgrades, even if you use a continue. That's not to say the whole game is easy. There are a few tricky parts that I still haven't quite figured out. But I can still zip through all 7 stages on a single credit. The last problem I have with the game is how often the bosses get reused, sometimes one right after another. Overall, I really like the Steel Empire. The graphic style is really unique and easily stands out as the game's high point. Beyond that though, the gameplay does hold up. The ability to fire in front and behind your ship at will is fairly unique. The Steel Empire isn't exactly common, but there is little demand for it, so you should be able to snag a copy for very little money. I'd recommend the Steel Empire to fans of the genre, but if you're a hardcore shooter fan, you may want to skip on this one.